The Super Marihour challenge is unlike most other speedruns. Typically, a runner will perfect a single game with the goal of completing it as quickly as possible. In the case of the Marihour challenge, the goal is instead to complete multiple Mario games consecutively. But just how many games? Is it 1, 2, or 3 maybe? Try 6 games, back to back. The objective? Complete all 6 games in under 1 hour. Only a few talented runners have been able to rise up and complete this daunting task in order to achieve a sub-hour time. Before discussing the runs themselves, let's take a moment to outline the rules of the challenge. The run begins with Super Mario Bros. For the NES, and as you might have guessed, the second game is Super Mario Bros. 2. However, there are actually 2 versions of SMB2. The Japanese version of SMB2 was not originally released in the United States, as Nintendo opted to instead release Super Mario Bros. 2, Mario Madness, as they thought it would be better received in the West. In the Super Marihour challenge, runners must complete SMB2 Japan, followed by SMB2 USA. This is followed by the last Mario game on the NES, the creatively titled
Super Mario Bros. 3!
The last 2 games in the challenge are Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo and Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. The games must be completed in order of release, or in other words, the order in which I just introduced them. Credits warps are also not allowed. Credits warping is a method of skipping an entire game by manipulating its code to skip directly to the credit sequence from an early level. Using this method would make the Marihour challenge far too easy, as both Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3 have early credits warps. These rules seem pretty specific, so where did they come from? The Marihour challenge was created in mid-2015 by a well-known and respected Mario speedrunner, Darbian. Darbian is best known for his SMB1 any% speedruns, a category which he dominated between 2015 and 2017. However, he also has numerous other extremely impressive times in other Mario games. Despite an extended hiatus, Darbian still has a top 10 time in SMB2 USA, a top 20 time in SMB2J and SMB3, and a top 25 orb time in SMW. He combined his skills in these individual categories to create the Super Marihour challenge. As Darbian describes in a rules paste bin on July 10th, 2015,
"This is a personal challenge I came up with. Complete the following games all in one sitting and in under 1 hour, including the time it takes to switch games. Here's the rule set I followed. Each game will be played on the original hardware it was released for, including lost levels which will be played on a real Famicom disk system using an official Nintendo game disc. The North American release will be used for all games except for the lost levels, which was only released in Japan. The games will be played in order of release. Each game will be started from power on as opposed to having the next game ready to go at the title screen. Timing will end upon grabbing the final star in Super Mario 64.
While the requirement for original hardware was eventually dropped to make the category more accessible, Darbian's original rule set established some important rules that would ultimately define the challenge. First, the North American release must be played for all games except SMB2J. Notably, this prevents runners from using a Japanese copy of SM64, which is faster than a North American copy by a few seconds. It also prevents the use of a Japanese copy of SMW, which is faster by just over half a second. Second, each game must be powered on only after the previous one is completed. This means that the challenge starts from powering on in SMB1, not the usual start time for SMB1 any%, which is when the 400 appears in the corner and the player gains control of Mario. Games like SMW also cannot be left waiting on the menu prior to starting the run timer. Third, and most importantly, the games must be completed in order of release. Why, you ask, is this so important? A few reasons really, but 2 stand out to me. We'll get to that soon enough. Nearly a year after he outlined the rules of the Super Marihour challenge, Darbian became the first one to complete it, finishing with a time of 58:27 on June 30th, 2016.
And there is an example of what speedrunning is.
Thanks to an appearance on the front page of Twitch, he peaked at over 3,000 viewers during the run, contributing to the widespread awareness of the challenge, despite its small player base. The YouTube archive of this run has also accumulated over 1.6 million views. Despite skipping 59 entirely, there were some major mistakes in Darbian's run that left significant room for improvement. For example, a death in 8-4 in SMB2J costed him around a minute. Also, a combination of bad RNG, a missed cycle in World A Castle, and stumbling on a block clip costed him around 45 seconds in SMB3.
Come on! Come on! Oh my gosh, come on! Jeez.
Darbian continued grinding out attempts, looking for a run that would set the bar extremely high for anyone looking to beat his time. Beating his world record by a few seconds would be one thing, but completing a truly exceptional run would be a different matter entirely. So many things had to go right, and finally, nearly 3 months later, the pieces came together in just the right way to put the challenge to bed.
So this is actually a really freaking good run. And if Mario World goes well, then it's going to be the most nerve-wracking Mario 64 I've ever tried. Well, this is it. This is the most significant Mario 64 run I'll have ever attempted. Yes! 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 That's a heck of a Mario. Oh my goodness! That is a strong Mario run. The first 5 games. The first 5 games are sick. I mean, that's it. I'm happy now. I don't need to... There's no improving this. Yeah, that's a Mario Hour PB by a heck of a lot.
Darbian posted his accomplishment on Twitter and asked if anyone else was up for the challenge. Some expressed interest, but the presence of Super Mario 64 at the very end of the run was a major deal-breaker for most. But why was SM64 such a deal-breaker? Now, I want to answer that question by taking an express train to the 2 pivotal moments in the run that I alluded to earlier. But it's important to first discuss what trials Darbian had to endure to reach those points in the first place. Starting in SMB1, he follows the standard route of using the 1-2 and 4-2 warp zones to skip directly to World 8. However, this run does differ from standard SMB1 runs in many ways. First, traditional SMB1 any% runs make use of waiting on the title screen to control RNG in later levels. But since the Mario Hour timer starts on console power on, this is not optimal for the challenge. Darbian instead opts to pick up the Fire Flower to prevent the pseudo-random Hammer Brothers in level 8-3 from killing Mario. He also does not need to use strategies like the Flagpole glitch or the Bullet Bill glitch. These difficult tricks save well under a second each, which means a lot less in an hour-long category. Consistency is far more important than the tiny time advantages that these tricks provide. He finishes SMB1 with a time of 5 minutes and 9 seconds. In SMB2J, Darbian again makes use of warp zones to complete the game quickly, this time in 1-2 and 5-2. Flagpole glitches are of course still absent, but he does make use of a few nifty time saves like a super bounce in 5-1. He also attempts a version of the Devil's Spell, a flashy pipe clip that saves time in level 5-2, but he actually missed it in his world record run. After saying hi to his pal Bruce, Darbian finishes SMB2J with a time of 14 minutes. Wasting no time at all, Darbian switches to SMB2U, where he chooses Toad in most levels, as he boasts the fastest running speed of the Mario crew. In 1-1, he utilizes a small wrong warp to skip blowing up a wall with bombs on his way to the level's exit. After using an enemy spawn trick to speed up his flying in 1-2, he takes the warp zone to World 4. More carrying enemies that magically increase Toad's running speed leads Darbian to a warp zone destined to World 6. In 6-2, Darbian selects Luigi instead of Toad to make use of the green Mario super jumps. By jumping across the flying enemies, Darbian skips what would have otherwise been a slow autoscroller. After a neat jump off of a potion, a vine jump to skip most of the final castle, and feeding Pepe some vegetables, Darbian finishes SMB2U with a time of 23 minutes and 27 seconds. Alright, it's time for the challenge to get serious. In SMB3, Darbian collects 2 warp whistles and uses them consecutively to skip to World 8. After slogging through 2 long and tedious autoscrollers and making an impressive fire flower grab, he encounters the first major roadblock of the Super Marihour challenge. 3 disembodied hands. As many of you might be aware, 2 of these 5 tiles are harmless. However, the other 3 have a 50% chance each to pull you into a bonus stage that takes around 25 to 35 seconds to complete. The difference between getting no hands and 3 hands is over a minute. That's an enormous difference. Avoiding all 3 hands can bring a dead run back to life, while being dealt all 3 will kill even the best attempts. Having to face this completely random element over 30 minutes into the run is extremely frustrating. So, how many hands did Darbian get? Well, 0.
Or that. I'll take that.
This contributed a lot to Darbian's incredibly strong SMB3 segment. After completing some more levels and autoscrollers, Darbian capped off SMB3 with an improved wall clip and a quick Fireball Bowser kill, finishing with a time of 34 minutes and 33 seconds. Next, Darbian trades his NES controller for a Super Nintendo pad and switches to Super Mario World. He quickly grabs Yoshi to brew some magic. In Yoshi's Island 1, Darbian performs the precise item swap glitch, where Yoshi is tricked into consuming an off-screen enemy. Although this may look like a garbled mess, Darbian actually received the Sunken Ghost Ship Orb, an item that is not usually able to be placed in the player's inventory. Darbian uses this glitched item in Iggy's castle, calling for the end of the level and bypassing the lengthy castle stage. In the following level, Darbian picks up the Cape power-up, which will allow him to complete the rest of the game's stages at lightning speed. He breezes through the Star Road and arrives at Bowser's front door. Darbian makes quick work of the King of Koopas yet again, and finishes SMW with a time of 45 minutes and 22 seconds. Now it's time to grow a third arm and enter the realm of 3D in Super Mario 64. After entering Peach's castle, Darbian heads for the staircase down to the locked basement and hops into an out-of-bounds section. It is here where he will perform the second pivotal trick in the run, the lobby backwards long jump, or LBLJ. For those unfamiliar, the SM64 developers mistakenly did not put a cap on Mario's negative speed. By repeatedly jumping against the invisible wall inside this pillar, Mario builds up a huge amount of speed, allowing him to launch out of bounds. Once outside the castle, Darbian redirects Mario's speed towards the stairs and clips through the Bowser door. Entering Bowser in the Dark World is supposed to require 8 stars, but Darbian enters the stage without collecting a single star. Darbian managed to get LBLJ first try in his run, but the difficulty of this trick should not be overlooked. Missing this trick even once costs a huge amount of time. After slaying Bowser, Darbian uses the newly acquired key to enter the basement. It is here where he will perform the sideways backwards long jump, or SBLJ. This trick allows Darbian to skip collecting the 30 stars needed to enter the second Bowser stage. SBLJ is incredibly difficult to learn and extremely finicky, even for experienced runners. It is not at all uncommon for runners to fail this trick for minutes on end if they're having a bad day. Combined with LBLJ, 2 more BLJs, and the infamous final Bowser fight, SM64 is easily the most difficult game on the challenge. LBLJ and SBLJ serve as very large learning hurdles that discourage many, especially those who exclusively run 2D Mario games, from giving the Marihour challenge a shot. Having Mario 64 be the last game in the challenge only adds to the difficulty, as even the best run can be completely lost by failing any of these tricks repeatedly. Despite these challenges, Darbian performs the BLJs, grabs the one and only star from Diodar Docks, and fights Bowser 2 more times to close out his incredible world record run.
That's a heck of a Marihour. Oh my goodness.
After Darbian completed his incredible showcase of the Marihour challenge, it was only a matter of time before other high-level speedrunners would give it a shot. The first of these runners was Lackattack 24. Lack is most well known for his world record dominance in The Legend of Zelda's main category, any percent no up plus A, a record which he improved over 20 times between 2015 and 2020.
Yeah!
I have also put my speedrunning skills to the test in all the games in the Marihour challenge over the years. I even hold records in Doki Doki Panic, a game that served as the basis for the American version of Super Mario Bros. 2. After about 3 months of attempts, I faced the final Bowser fight in SM64 on November 7th, 2016. I had decided not to look at my splits during the run and was surprised to find that I had smashed the hour barrier with a 58:41.
I did it!
I'm so happy. That was insane. Oh my goodness, I did not think I was that fast.
Another runner up to the challenge was Kosmic. Kosmic has been a top-level SMB1 runner for years, highlighted by his achievement of getting the first ever 455.
I cannot believe it! What? How? That was my first run ever! Before running Marihour, I already knew a good portion of the games, but not all of them. I had to learn SMB2 USA, SMB3, and I also put some time into getting better at Mario World and Mario 64. Once I'd learned those, I was ready to do full Marihour attempts, and after a few weeks, I completed the challenge in 59 minutes, 32 seconds on April 15th, 2017.
Yay! There's 3 people with it now. I'm pretty happy I was able to do it, finally. Thank you so much for watching Marihour.
And with that, the Marihour Big 3 was complete. 3 legendary runners, each among the best the speedrunning community has ever seen, had just completed the challenge. Having 3 such iconic runners beat the 3 who had completed the challenge gave it a mythical status in the speedrunning community. Many people subconsciously wrote off Marihour as far beyond their skills, since the only 3 who had managed to finish it were among the all-time greats. As a result, the challenge sat for the next 2.5 years, nearly untouched. The only person who dared give it a shot was Super Mario World scientist Dots4Cool. Dots, who now goes by IsoFreeze, only pushed his time to a 107.42 before moving on to other projects, well short of the hour mark. The Marihour challenge's prestige resulted in it appearing in a variety of published sources, from a section in OmniGamer's speedrunning science book to passing mentions in articles from major publications, like Game Informer and 538. But would that be it for the Marihour challenge? Just 3 completions before becoming a legend of speedrunning past? Or would more runners rise to the challenge years later? Well, only time would tell. 2 years passed and the leaderboard stayed the same, but on August 5th, 2019, the Marihour leaderboards received a new run. The time? 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 30 seconds. The runner? SuperMegaDav, a variety speedrunner from Quebec.
When I started speedrunning back in 2017, I watched Darbian speedrun Super Mario All-Stars. He was doing all 5 warpless, a category where you play all 5 games contained on the Super Mario All-Stars cartridge. I was really impressed with his run, and I thought it would be really awesome to try it myself. I eventually got a top 3 time in that category in 2018, and while I was doing attempts of smash all 5, people started talking about the Marihour challenge. I didn't know what it was, so I checked it out. And man, I was so in. This looks so cool. I had to learn Super Mario 64 from scratch, and I struggled to learn it at first, but I finally got comfortable enough with LBLJ and SBLJ to try full runs in mid-2019. Now I have video proof. There it is, I can make it. Let's go.
After finishing his 1 hour and 15 minute run, Dave was a quarter of an hour away from completing the challenge. But this was just his first run, and certainly didn't represent the full depth of his Mario skills.
Alright, we had tons of issues that run.
Just 5 days later, Dave submitted a 106.24.
Not the best Mario 64, but still. Nice little 1 minute 16 PB, and a Super Mario 3 PB also.
In his run, he had strong SMB1, SMB3, and SMW segments, but still struggled with the difficult platforming, physics, and tricks, respectively, in SMB2J, SMB2U, and SM64. 9 days later, Dave improved his time and turned in a 104.10. This run was a great showcase of Dave's Marihour skills, but he was becoming increasingly frustrated with the infamous BLJs of SM64, with SBLJ in particular costing him 2.5 minutes. As an aside, Mario 64 runners are often told to simply practice this trick more. While many hours of practice are absolutely necessary, there reaches a point of diminishing returns. Some days, even the most experienced runners just can't do it.
Now for the hardest trick. This is the single hardest trick in Marihour, and it comes at the last game. This is the one that could take... Sometimes it takes me 15 minutes, sometimes it's first try.
It also didn't help that after some very strong early segments, Dave was dealt 2 hands in SMB3. SuperMegaDav knew that he was capable of completing a sub-hour run, so he pressed on. However, despite a lot more grinding, SBLJ continued to thwart Dave's best attempts. The frustrations of this trick contributed to Dave's eventual decision to take an extended break from the Marihour challenge. So was this it? Was the Marihour challenge going to be forgotten and left behind again? Back to the dusty attic? Not quite. Because during this time, a new runner had started to learn the games in the Marihour challenge. And, well, that runner was me. Pixel Perfect Runs. I started speedrunning in November of 2017, after getting inspired from some other amazing speedruns at the time, especially games like SMB1 and Super Mario Galaxy. My first speed game was Super Mario Odyssey, the most recent 3D Mario game at the time, but by the spring of 2019, I started to get burnt out and felt like I wasn't making the kind of progress that I wanted to. I wanted to move on to another speed game, perhaps a run that had a similar length to Odyssey's 1 hour long any %, but I was unsure of what to turn to. I considered many games, from other 3D Mario games like Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, to other games like Spyro and Portal, but nothing really seemed to excite me until my brother reminded me of, you guessed it, the Super Marihour challenge. I had been aware of the challenge in the past, but considering it had barely been touched in over 2 years, I had long since forgotten about it. The Marihour challenge fit the bill of what I was looking for to a T, and the prospect of being the first one to complete it in years was exciting. However, unlike the big 3 who had already completed the challenge, I would be starting with essentially zero 2D Mario experience. SM64 was entirely new to me as well, so I knew it would be a very long journey if I was ever going to add myself to the group of the Marihour champions. I did some preliminary research about each game of the challenge, and on June 8th, 2019, I officially announced that I was switching from SMO to Marihour. First things first, time to learn some games. While never having speedrun these games prior to attempting the Marihour challenge was obviously a huge disadvantage, I did have the advantage of knowing what my ultimate goal was when I learned various tricks. Why did this matter? Well, take SMB1 for example. Someone with the goal of getting a sub 5-minute time in SMB1, a very typical milestone in that game, would likely spend many hours practicing difficult tricks like pipe jumps in level 8-1 and perfect swimming in 8-3. These difficult tricks are essential to a sub 5-minute time, but in the end they only add up to a few seconds of time save at most. Since my goal was not to get sub 5, but instead to become as consistent as possible, I instead dedicated the hours that I might have spent on those tricks to practicing larger time saves in other games. I also had the luxury of studying my competition. If I was uncertain whether a risky trick was worth it or necessary to achieve a sub-hour time, I could see whether Darbian, Lackattack, or Kosmic had chosen to do it in their runs. These advantages were certainly nice, but at the end of the day, there's no substitute for cold, hard practice. You can't think your way around that. So I got to work. From early July to late October, I practiced the games individually, pouring dozens of hours into individual tricks and full game runs. And here were the results.
Hey, Slade. Got a sub 12. Let's go. I don't know. I don't know. We did it. It's a sub 10. Let's go. And then next weekend, I can do Marihour runs. That's the hope.
With all 6 games under my belt, there was nothing left to do but grind.
And go.
On October 19th, 2019, I finished my first ever Marihour run with a time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 20 seconds.
We've completed the games for the Marihour challenge. 1:22:20 on the dot.
This run was extremely sloppy, so I didn't bother to submit it to speedrun.com. It wouldn't be long before I left this run in the dust. The very next day, I completed the first run that I felt actually reflected my skills. A 1:12:54. Still far away from my ultimate goal, I set my sights on a sub 1 hour and 10 minute time. Less than a week later, on October 25th, I broke the 1 hour and 10 minute barrier. Unfortunately, the video for this time and my following PB, a 1:08:15, have been lost. Energized by my rapid improvement, I quickly got back to doing more attempts. October gave way to November, and I improved my time to a 1:06:51. This was the first PB since my 1 hour and 12 minute time that I was happy enough to submit to speedrun.com, but I was certain to note that there were still many minutes left to be saved. A few more weeks of Marihour runs, and looking for an attempt strong enough to take a major bite out of the several minutes I had left to be saved, resulted in an incredible run, which I finished in 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 1 second on November 22nd.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? I don't care. I do not care. We didn't get it. Oh my god.
The final split of this run was a sizable gold in SM64, placing my sum of best segments at under an hour for the first time. From here, I set my sights on Marihour.
no way. No way, dude. I can't believe it. We got it like the third try. I don't know what to say.
Well, over a month later, a run finally came along that reached the final stages of SM64 on pace for a sub-hour time. On January 6th, 2020, I entered the final Bowser fight at 58 minutes and 44 seconds. Poised to join the group of Mario Hour champions, I was extremely nervous, but managed to hit the first 2 Bowser throws with only minor hiccups. But the third throw was a different story. 2 agonizing misses later, I finally hit the Bowser throw, and finished with a disappointing time of 1 hour and 9 seconds. I was growing frustrated with the category for the same reasons as others before me, and I was not looking forward to grinding out an hour-long category just to save 10 seconds.
I was so nervous! Dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I can't do any more speedruns of this. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
But as the cat poster says, I didn't come this far, only to come this far. It was time to go back to the grind. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, and I was still unable to beat my PB. Sub 1 hour was proving to be a very strong mental barrier. I'd made consistent progress and brought my time from a 1 hour and 22 minute time down to a 1 hour and 9 second time in under 3 months. However, 4 months and 700 attempts later, my personal best had not improved one bit, and my time still sat at 1 hour and 9 seconds. Many great paced runs were lost to nerves in SM64. Take this promising attempt for example. Just 6 seconds behind my PB going into SM64, I failed the easier part of LBLJ, and sent Mario flying into Cool Cool Mountain, rather than Bowser in the Dark World, ending any chance of a sub-hour run. But on May 5th, 2020, it seemed as though I might have finally broken through. I was 19 seconds behind going into SM64, but with some improved movement, I was on pace for a sub-hour time going into the final BLJ. Then, the impossible happened.
No, dude, why did I do that? Dude, that is like probably one of the biggest chokes in speedrunning ever. The run's dead. I mean, I don't know why I did that, dude.
Under pressure, I had mistakenly BLJ'd up the left side of the stairs, which, combined with some bad luck, sent me through the wall and into another level, Wet Dry World. After exiting the level and redoing the 50-star BLJ, any hope of completing the Mario Hour challenge would be long gone. I was certain that this particular mistake would become the poster child for my repeated chokes in the final minutes. It has both the strong shock value of Mario phasing through a wall, and it is so trivially easy to avoid. All I had to do was BLJ up the right side of the staircase, instead of the left. But I also knew that I was playing extremely well that day. After all, I did manage to achieve close to my best ever pace throughout the first 57 minutes of the run. So I put that back-breaking mistake out of my mind and kept playing. The first 3 games of the run were impeccable, putting me 42 seconds ahead going into SMB3. Unfortunately, SMB3 was a disaster, featuring 2 hands and a costly death in World 8. But with larger time saves in later games, I knew I could bring this run back.
We got Mario, baby. Let's go. I never thought this moment would ever happen. I never thought this would ever happen, dude. We did it. We got Mario Hour. Oh my god. Thank you, everyone, so much for helping me these past 10 months. got Marihour, dude! Oh my god! Dude, today's the day! Today's the day! So, I did it! I completed the Super Marihour challenge. Obviously, I was extremely excited to add myself to the prestigious club of Marihour champions after so many months of grinding. But I wasn't done with the challenge just yet. I had another goal in mind. The goal was to get the world record. I knew from my sub-hour time that there was lots of room for improvement. I decided to put together a list of all the major mistakes in my run to figure out what kind of time I might be capable of with my current skills. First, there is the aforementioned 2 hands and death in SMB3, which costed about a minute. First try SPLJ and SM64 could also save another minute over my PB. If we do some quick multivariable calculus, it's clear that even if I axed all these errors from my next run, I would still fall over a minute short of Darbian's world record. I would need to improve my gameplay and add some new strategies if I intended to compete for the Marihour's top spot. Remember earlier when I studied my competition? Well, in order to make my hunt for new strategies possible, I studied Darbian's world record run and assembled a detailed spreadsheet comparing my run to his. Here, I compiled the strategies we each attempted, what mistakes we made, and how much time we gained or lost over each other as a result. I assembled my new route piece by piece, carefully selecting strategies that gave me the best chance of saving enough time to beat his run. As a result, I went back to the practice grind. Across the run, I added numerous smaller strategies. Some were ones I'd yet to implement that Darbian utilized, which I needed to learn to keep pace with his run. This included strats like the SMB2J Super Bounce and SMB3 Quick Raccoon Suit Grab. Others were tricks I added to improve on Darbian's gameplay, so I didn't have to match him step for step, such as a faster version of the Devil Spell in SMB2J, and a 2-cycle Birdo kill in level 6-3 of SMB2U. The second largest new strategy I implemented was early Fire Flower in SMB3. By deftly ducking under this Bullet Madness to grab a Fire Flower during one of the auto-scrollers in SMB3, I could use that Fire Flower throughout the rest of the run to speed up killing Boom Boom. I would also not have to grab a Fire Flower during a later, non-auto-scrolling level, saving some time there as well. But one new strategy stands alone as the most important and most difficult new addition, the Super Mario World Cloud Route. While studying Darbian's run, I came to the conclusion that Marihour milestones would likely be defined by a runner's specialty, or in other words, a single game, trick, or other technique that separates a run or runner from their competition. For instance, Darbian's specialty in his world record run was SMB3. His SMB3 segment is 10 minutes and 58 seconds long, which, at the time of its completion, was the 9th best any percent no wrong warp run of all time. Today, it is still a top 20 time, despite being over 4 years old. To be clear, this is specifically the SMB3 segment from Darbian's Marihour world record run, not a separate SMB3 PB. Matching this segment in my Marihour attempts was extremely unlikely, due to the good luck needed from hands, as well as amazing gameplay. So I needed to find a specialty of my own, and I found one in Super Mario World. You might recall from earlier how I described a glitch Darbian utilized in SMW to acquire the sunken ghost ship orb, allowing him to skip the castle level. Well, there exists a similar glitch, where the runner can instead acquire Lackatack's cloud by performing the item swap glitch in a different location. If performed optimally, the cloud glitch can save over 30 seconds from the orb variation. So why didn't I use it before, and why did Darbian choose not to use it in his world record run? Well, for one, the setup to acquire the cloud is more precise than the orb setup. This is especially notable for this trick because the item swap glitch can lead to a console crash, an outcome that is even more likely for the cloud than the orb. Such a crash will decimate a run of any quality. But much more importantly is the location of where the orb and cloud are used. An important characteristic of Mario's inventory in SMW is that if Mario takes a hit, the item in his inventory will be automatically dispensed. In the case of the orb and cloud, there is no way to return this dispensed item to your inventory. So, between the item swap glitch and using the glitched item, the runner must not get hit a single time. The orb is used only 2 levels after it's acquired, and these 2 levels are among the easiest in the run. The cloud, on the other hand, is used to speed up the final Bowser fight in the last level of the game. As a result, attempting the cloud glitch requires the runner to avoid getting hit during nearly the entire run, lest they lose over a minute of time. Lastly, the orb's time save is simple and easy. All the runner has to do is dispense the orb in Iggy's castle, grab it, and presto, the castle is skipped. However, the cloud is not so simple. In the final Bowser fight, it provides two types of assistance. For one, it allows Mario to quickly hit Bowser with the Mega Koopas that he drops. But more importantly, by allowing the cloud to glide off screen, it can manipulate and skip the Bowser animations where he glides off screen and throws down fireballs, saving a lot of time. This fight can become fairly routine with practice, but it's far from easy. Any mistake from this section can be extremely costly, with some mistakes causing the game to softlock, killing the run. Implementing the cloud route took a huge amount of time and effort, but I knew that making SMW my specialty was just the ace in the hole I needed to make the push for Marihour world record. After a few weeks of intense practice of these new strategies, I finally felt comfortable enough with them to return to full challenge runs. In order to track my progress towards the world record, I added a second comparison on my splits that represented Darbian's time throughout each of the games. That way, I could see just how far behind or ahead the Marihour champion I was as I progressed through my run. However, I'm getting ahead of myself, because I was still many minutes and many months of grinding away from having a real shot at that honor. So I decided to set some interim goals. The first of these was to pass Kosmic's 59:32 and enter the top 3. Afterwards, I would be shooting for a sub 59. On May 31st, about a month after my first sub-hour time, I knocked both of these goals down with one fantastic run.
Wow, so it's a 58, like I cannot believe it, dude.
A 58, an amazing run, right?
Hold it!
Did you catch that? Let me play it again, slower this time. Well, as you can see in this clip, Mario actually never enters the door. I turned off the console to switch to the next game too quickly, meaning I technically never finished SMB3, making my first ever 58-minute time invalid. I was crushed that this amazing run was invalidated by something so small, but it just went to show what I was capable of. I left this invalid run as my splits, knowing that I wouldn't be happy until I could beat this run, not just my old PB. Well, 1 week later, on June 7th, I had my shot at redemption. I actually failed the cloud glitch in this run, but fortunately, I did so in a way that didn't crash the game. With some quick thinking, I decided to do the orb glitch as a backup strategy, and kept the run going. And there you have it, the Super Marihour challenge beaten in 58 minutes and 52 seconds, narrowly edging out my PB that wasn't. Remarkably, this run was the attempt immediately after I finished a 59:57, making this the first ever time where the Marihour challenge was completed in back-to-back attempts. Just a month prior, I had yet to complete the challenge, but now, I was capable of doing it twice in a row. While I certainly had improved my skills in the past month, this fact is a testament to the power of a mental barrier. Next on the list of interim goals was beating Lackattack's run and taking second place. Energized by my quick improvement, I got back to doing more attempts.
Yes! Oh my god! It's a Lackattack bop. Holy cow, this is great. This is...
And less than a month later, on July 2nd, I completed a run in 58 minutes and 26 seconds, moving up a spot on the leaderboard. This run featured a successful cloud glitch, although I failed to execute the Bowser fight perfectly and lost the cloud halfway through. Yup, that's a fitting hat. However, this run was nothing compared to what I would accomplish just 5 days later. A 56:43. This monumental improvement came so much earlier than I expected. A large portion of this time save came from finally utilizing the cloud glitch to its full potential, with a grand total of 0 mistakes in the final Bowser fight.
Wow. Alright, this is a very good run.
But contributions came from everywhere. While I previously highlighted the new strategies that I added to the run, one of the biggest driving forces behind my improvement was simply cleaner gameplay. With over 1,500 Marihour attempts under my belt, and over 150 completed runs, my movement had graduated from passable to crisp. While it's hard to point out any individual time saves resulting from this, it certainly adds up over the course of an hour. As I racked up no reset practice runs, my chat began to keep track of my Marihour completions, a number which, at the time of recording this, has grown to 53. I was rapidly approaching my ultimate goal and set out to make my next PB the world record. Playing at the highest level of my Marihour quest, I knew it wouldn't be long before I got my shot at surpassing Darbian's 56-minute and 17-second time. On July 18th, I set out on my 1,770th attempt. The first 5 games were quite average, and I entered SM64 with the best possible time well slower than the record. So this run certainly didn't seem like my shot. But sometimes, your shot arrives when you least expect it.
One.
So long, Bowser. So long, Bowser. So long, Bowser.
This isn't record. Is this record? Oh my god. Is this what? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh my god. Dude.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. That SM64, that was a spicy SM64. Holy cow! Oh my god! I topped off an incredible SM64 segment with 3 perfect Bowser throws, culminating in a 43-second gold and a run just 2 seconds off the world record. It was certainly a bit disappointing to come so close to my goal and then come up short. But at that moment, I knew that with my current skills, I could get the world record on any attempt. Spurred on my brief taste of victory, the very next day, I was back on my quest to be the very best. Starting July 19th, I played Mario with one goal in mind, claiming the Marihour world record. But 40 days and nearly 500 attempts later, I was yet to clutch out a new PB of any kind, despite having many opportunities to do so. I even managed to tie my 56:19 on July 27th. Like, it was a good run. It was a good run. I just choked at the very end, dude. That was my fault. I was too nervous. I went for too many strats and yeah, I couldn't handle the pressure there. It seemed as though I would always fall up short and choke because of my nerves. I can't. I just can't. I'm not focusing at all. I'm just not feeling the run at all. The power of mental barriers and how they halt runners' progress when approaching landmark times is often discussed in speedrun world record histories. I have to admit that I often discounted their strength and thought that their effects were overstated. But after experiencing mental barriers prior to reaching the 1 hour mark and again here, just 3 seconds from taking the record, I began to truly feel how they affect a runner's mentality. Whenever I'm on a run, I always get so freaking nervous, dude. But when I get on a good run, it turns into one of the hardest tricks in the game, and I don't know why. I was becoming extremely burnt out and wanted to take a break, but also felt like the work and time it would take to get back to my current state after taking a break would be so significant that I might never do it. So I kept pushing, knowing that my shot would eventually come, and on the 4th of September, my shot had finally arrived. God. Oh my god. I can't. We just got world record. Oh my god. Yeah. Guys, that was the first run of the day. That was actually the first run of the day. I can't. As I so eloquently stated in my celebration, my 2,256th attempt was also my first run of the day. With my coveted world record in hand and hours to burn, I made good on an old promise. Oh, we have to order the okay, we gotta order the pineapple pizza. I forgot. We gotta order the pineapple pizza. Okay, we got the pizza. Here's the reveal. Here's a close-up of it. There it is. And you can see also there's the pineapple little bits. I feel bad for the person who had to make this pizza. They're probably like, what the hell, dude? At 9 p.m. at night, who the heck is ordering pineapple pizza? Like, what kind of weirdo is that? Alright, well, I guess we'll give it the good old taste test. Oh my god. I guess this is my curse. I got world record, now this is what I'm forced to do. Even as I ate my celebratory pineapple pizza, I knew in the back of my mind that my journey wasn't done yet. One final goal remained: to claim a minute barrier as my own. I would soon set off in pursuit of the first ever 55. But that story can wait a minute, because while I was on my journey from completing the challenge to getting the world record, something amazing happened. The Marihour challenge was reborn. The first signs that I wasn't the only one interested in pursuing Marihour glory emerged when current SMB1 Warpless and Famicom Trilogy world record holder GTAce99 took a shot at the challenge. Just a week after my first sub-hour run, GTAce finished his first Marihour attempt in 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 58 seconds on May 15th, 2020.
Well, that went better than expected, honestly.
However, that was the only run that he would submit to the leaderboard, since he has yet to return to the category. GTAce may have left Marihour as quickly as he arrived, but less than 2 months after his run, the Marihour challenge received its first real contender, aside from myself and the big three. Zion64. Zion is a Super Mario 64 specialist, who has a top 30 time in 16 star and 1 star, and an impressive SMW 11 exit time to boot. Zion arrived at the challenge with more all-around Mario experience than any runner before him, outside of the big three. His first completed run of the challenge was on July 4th, 2020, which resulted in a 103.55. Just 3 days later, he improved his time to a 102.50.
Let's go. 102.50. Let's go over time losses. Let's go. That was such a good SM64, dude.
Zion appeared poised to break the hour mark sooner rather than later, due to his rapid improvement. But like many runners in the past, something was weighing him down. Zion was becoming extremely frustrated with having to perform SBLJ over 50 minutes into the run.
Imagine having to do this trick at the very end of a 1 hour run. Actually really stupid.
This trick weighed on him even more heavily than other runners because SM64 was his specialty, so he needed an immaculate final segment in order to complete the challenge. As a result of this, Zion announced his sudden retirement from the challenge. A couple months later, a runner named Vixland tried their hand at the challenge, but they have yet to improve their time beyond 1 hour and 38 minutes. So sure, the Marihour challenge was getting more attention than it had in years, but was anyone else willing to grind out the practice and attempts necessary to complete the challenge? Well, the next contender was perhaps an unlikely one. Slade, a Canadian variety streamer, decided to give it a shot. Similar to my own origins, Slade had no experience in speedrunning any of the Marihour Challenge's games when he decided to give it a shot.
The first time I ever saw the Marihour Challenge was a few years ago. Darbian was doing it on his Twitch, and I thought it was really cool how he was speedrunning through all these Mario games in a single run. But I wasn't too heavily involved in the speedrunning scene at that time, so I never really even considered the idea of doing it myself. But then my Twitch community challenged me to do the Marihour Challenge. I thought they were crazy, but they eventually did convince me with some monetary goals, so I started training for it. And man, it was not easy because I had never done any speedrunning in any of these Mario games before. This just seemed like an impossible challenge to me, but my community was behind me. I spent about half a year to being able to throw down a run that was flirting with actually getting under an hour.
After his lengthy effort to learn all 6 games from scratch, Slade's personal best finally began to approach the sub-hour mark.
But he wasn't the only Canadian variety streamer on his way to completing the challenge. SuperMegaDav, whose most recent PB of 104.10, achieved over a year ago, had returned.
After watching Pixel Perfect runs and Slade play Marihour for months in 2020, I started to realize that I had unfinished business with the category. I was just out of a 2 months grind of Yoshi's Island, but I was so inspired by these guys that I decided to sit down in October, practice non-stop for 3 weeks, and try again on the challenge.
Dave lost many sub-hour paced runs during and after my world record chase.
Alright, let's not die though.
But he stuck with it, knowing that his hard work would eventually pay off. 2 runners on the verge of Marihour completion at the same time was a first for the challenge. But believe it or not, Slade and Dave were not the only ones on pace to join the club of Marihour champions. American INeedABetterTwitchName, an experienced SMB1, SM64, and NES sports game runner, was also approaching a coveted sub-hour time.
I first saw the Marihour challenge from Darbian and Lackattack's live streams, and at the time I already knew how to run most of the 2D Mario games, but I didn't know how to do SPLJ and SM64 yet, so that was the big obstacle at the time. A long time later, I saw a post about Pixel getting his first sub-hour in the challenge, and that's what made me think like, okay, yeah, maybe I can do this, because he started from like no PBs, and he got very consistent at all the games. I knew how to do most of the tricks already, so there wasn't much left to learn, and I pretty much went into doing runs right away.
Out of this trio, which runner would be the first to complete the Marihour challenge? On November 12th, 2020, Slade completed the Super Marihour challenge with a time of 59 minutes and 41 seconds.
Let's go! Woo! Yeah!
You madland.
Oh! That's what I'm talking about. 59:42!
With this run, Slade became the first non-American runner to join the sub-hour club. That just left one question. When would the other 2 runners join him? Perhaps a few weeks? Maybe a month? Just 4 days later, Dave caught lightning in a bottle.
Yes! Yes! We did it, man! We did it! We did it, man! Yes, man! A 57! God dang it, man!
With a final triumphant Bowser throw, Dave left the hour barrier in the dust and completed an exemplary run.
I would have been satisfied with a 59-59, man. I would have been satisfied with that, I swear. 57 freaking 21. I don't believe it, man.
He laid his personal SPLJ demons to rest, completing the trick on just his second attempt.
Dude, I think it is. You have to be fucking kidding me, man. Let's fucking go, man.
Despite this being Dave's first completion of the challenge, he rocketed all the way up to 3rd place on the leaderboard.
Slade's Canadian world record had lasted all of 4 days. Both runners would promptly retire from the challenge, happy with their sub-hour times. That just left TwitchName. After just 5 days, he too would join the Club of Marihour Champions. In just 9 days, the Marihour Hall of Fame had nearly doubled in size. While TwitchName's accomplishment exhausted the list of currently active runners who were yet to complete the challenge, the future of Marihour was undeniably bright. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This video is scripted. Shocking, I know. But I can prove it. Here's my script supervisor.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, you're not surprised. Alright, well here's a bigger secret. Every speedrun ever is scripted. There's a little ticker in the corner of Streamlabs that tells speedrunners when it's okay to PB and by how much. Sometimes it even says what tricks to fail and which ones to succeed in. One day, however, a brave speedrunner broke free from the shackles of the speedrun script. That speedrunner was me. This is my story. While the 3 newest champions were completing their Marihour journeys, I was hard at work grinding for a sub 56. 2.5 months of attempts yielded plenty of close calls and amazing paces, but no new personal bests. On November 29th, 2020, as I neared 2,800 attempts, I took a look at the script. Sadly, it called for me to enter Super Mario 64 on a fairly solid pace, but then lose the run to a death in the first Bowser stage. Dude, come on! Are you kidding me? Oh, that's really frustrating. I gritted my teeth as I followed the script, but I knew of a loophole. Remember Darbian's original rules of the challenge?
In Super Mario 64, 0 or 1 star.
They were very explicit about what category should be attempted for most games of the challenge. Except, in SM64, there's a choice. The runner can complete 1 star, as every Marihour competitor had done up until this point, or they can attempt 0 star, 1 star's harder and more inconsistent cousin. Without knowing how fast Mario is going, the runner must manipulate Mario's speed to a very exact range. This allows them to clip through the Dire Dire Docks entrance and go directly to Bowser in the Fire Sea, skipping an entire level. I made the decision to try 0 star in a desperate attempt to save this nearly dead run. I'll go for 0 star, might as well. Got nothing to lose. On my second SBLJ attempt, Mario shot over to the wall, and I made my best attempt at doing the 0 star setup.
Hey, Pixel, is that we're finally landing by home?
Yeah, what about it?
Who do you think you are? Hold on, I got this.
Anyways, where were we? Oh, yep, 0 star SBLJ. I had never gotten 0 star first try in a run before, and I knew the script didn't call for this run to be a personal best, so my expectations were very low. But as Mario tumbled through the wall, something magical happened. Oh my god! That's not supposed to happen. I wasn't actually supposed to get it. That's not part of the script. Against all odds, this run was back from the dead. My heart rate was at an all-time high after seeing the impossible become possible before my eyes. As a result, I fumbled a Bowser throw in the second Bowser fight, and then again in the third. But otherwise, the remainder of SM64 was very solid. It's a PB! Holy cow, this run was definitely something. It's a world record, so that's definitely something. I don't know. I have no words for this run. I have no words for this run. The final time was a new world record, 56 minutes and 7 seconds. It really shouldn't be a run, it shouldn't be a thing, but it is. You know. With the assistance of 0 star, I'd managed a new personal best, despite entering SM64 behind my PB and taking a death in Bowser in the Dark World. To this day, this run remains the only completion of 0 star in a successful Marihour run. Is it possible that 0 star could return again to raise the challenge to new heights? Well, maybe, and we'll discuss that a bit later. But for now, I have to get a sub 56. Now that I had shredded the script and broken free of its shackles on my gameplay, I got to work in search of my magnum opus. A few weeks went by, and SMB3 ate up a few valiant attempts. But finally, On December 21st, 2020, on my 2,851st attempt, Mario history was made. A 2-second gold in SMB3 gave me a sizable lead over my personal best, but also significantly raised the pressure. This run had a shot, and I knew it. Despite the pressure, I nailed Cloud and the rest of SMW. Entering SM64, I led my PB by over a minute. I took a deep breath and closed chat. I don't know if it's possible. I really don't. We actually might have gotten this. This might be a 55-58. For dramatic style, baby, 55-59. Oh my gosh! It happened. It happened. Over a year and a half of grinding. My goal has finally been complete. I can't believe this. Dude, this feels so surreal. And just like that, I beat the Super Marihour challenge in 55 minutes and 58 seconds. The run was retimed. I had come a long way since starting to learn the challenge 16 months prior. Since then, I had pushed the challenge to its limits through hundreds of streams, thousands of attempts, and enough hours of practice to make my parents think long and hard about taking away my gaming privileges. I've made many friends through the challenge, and it has helped me find my way as a runner and streamer over the last 2 years. I'll save the thank yous for later, but this moment really did mean a lot to me. Oh yeah, happy holidays, by the way, everyone. Now, what better way to celebrate this achievement than ordering another pizza? This time, I entrusted my viewers to create a pizza that would make Mario and Luigi proud. And this is what they came up with.
Mario's looking bad, but not near as bad as that pizza. He needs some milk!
Yeah. Honestly, it's a miracle that I even survived one bite of that monstrosity. If you're crazy enough to attempt a replicate of this death trap of a pizza, the ingredients list is in the description, and be sure to tweet a photo of it to me, at PixPerfectRuns. After achieving a sub 56, I decided to take an extended break from the challenge. With my absence and 3 runners having recently breached the sub-hour mark, would the challenge once again be left without active players? Well, not quite. For one, not all 3 of the new Marihour champions were satisfied with their time. In the waning hours of 2020, TwitchName improved his time to a 57:39 and snagged a 5th place spot on the leaderboard. In fact, during the very end of the production of this video, TwitchName achieved a 56:52, putting him less than a minute off of the world record. Additionally, the flurry of late 2020 activity on the board drew the attention of a new Mario legend, Ethan RTA. Ethan might have one of the most well-rounded Mario resume of any runner who has attempted the Marihour challenge before him, including holding very impressive times in SMB1, SMB2J, SMB2U, SMB3, and SMW. In the early days of his speedrunning career, Ethan even put some work into SM64, giving him experience in the full slate of Marihour speed games. Since then, Ethan has attempted a number of multiple Mario games categories, including holding the world record in Super Mario All-Stars any percent all 4. Clearly, if anyone had the skills to make Marihour look easy, it was Ethan. After spending a few streams becoming acquainted with Super Mario 64's infamous tricks, Ethan moved on to full challenge runs. With his experienced Mario background, it wouldn't be long before Ethan completed the Marihour challenge.
famous Bowser throws, never let him back in here. Keep him out of this place. Skeeter Brownson. His name has been revealed. Oh, wait. I have an extra split it? My first completed run of Marihour, 57:30.
Despite his lightning-fast improvement, Ethan was becoming frustrated for similar reasons to past Marihour runners, and expressed his disdain for the placement of SM64 at the end of the run. Having SM64 be the last game of the challenge is certainly a huge roadblock, and losing great runs to it is backbreaking. To me, playing the games in their order of release and facing down SM64 on a great pace is a big part of the challenge of Marihour, but I understand why others may not agree. Regardless of his misgivings about the game order, Ethan pressed on for a few more streams, looking for a run he could be somewhat content with before moving on. On January 19th, 2021, he put together an immaculate run in 56 minutes and 26 seconds. Ethan was closing in on the Marihour world record, and I was excited to finally have some active competition for the challenge's top spot. However, shortly after this run, Ethan moved on to other categories, preferring to diversify his Mario speedrunning escapades. But he certainly has the potential to contend for the world record, should he so choose. But a Marihour grind doesn't seem to be in his current speedrunning plans. Along with Ethan, other runners decided to take on the challenge, as the leaderboard welcomed its 13th runner, with the acceptance of a 126.14 by Dubious Dinobot. Popular Mario 64 speedrunner Biyuka also tried his hand at the challenge, finishing his most recent personal best with a time of 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 33 seconds. Additionally, the Marihour champions SuperMegaDav and Slade have recently noted that they might consider coming out of retirement to pursue a better time in the future. With a fairly steady stream of new runners taking up the mantle of those who preceded them, Marihour is in a better place than ever before. The challenge has a bright future ahead of it, and I'm excited to see who's gonna tackle it next. So what about the future of the Marihour world record? 55:58 is where the record stands today. But is 55 the end of the line? Well, not if I have something to say about it, and I do. Not long after completing my 55:58, I got the urge to come back to the Marihour challenge in pursuit of a new goal. I wanted to achieve the first ever 54, but I knew coming back to full challenge runs immediately would be an exercise in futility. Not only was I out of practice, but even if I returned to my top level of play, improving on my PB with my current route and skills would be extraordinarily difficult, and reaching a new minute threshold would be close to impossible. So I devised a plan to fix both of these problems at once: route improvement on a game-by-game basis. I returned to the drawing board and picked out new strategies to add to each of the games. In the process of practicing these strategies and running the individual games to implement them, I could build myself back up to full strength and come out the other side a better runner than ever before. But what new strategies could I add? There were certainly plenty of smaller ones I wanted to work in throughout the challenge, but to seek a sub 55, there needed to be a centerpiece, a major new strategy to take my game to the next level. Earlier, I talked a bit about the idea of having a specialty. For a while, my specialty was the S&W Cloud route. Of the 3 runners who completed the challenge before me, none of them made use of the Cloud, so it separated me from the pack. However, since my adoption of Cloud, other runners have considered using it, including Ethan, who completed his 56:26 with the assistance of the Cloud glitch. So I went searching for a new specialty, and after some deliberation, I found it in Super Mario Bros. 2 USA. Through the addition of a precise mid-air jump to quickly complete the 6-2 cave section, along with some other smaller time saves, I lowered my SMB2 UPB by over 20 seconds. And the amount of time this strategy can save in Marihour is even greater. With my new route in hand, the quest for sub 55 is on. It's going to be quite a grind, but I'm excited to finally get back to full challenge runs and push for another Marihour milestone. If you want to join me on my journey, be sure to watch live over at twitch.tv/pixelperfectruns. For just a minute, let's leave behind the realm of the accomplished and jump into the world of theoretical. How fast can the Marihour challenge be completed? Now, I might be on the quest for a 54, but at least one runner out there thinks that the category can be pushed even further. Who is this mysterious Marihour dreamer? Is it a Twitch troll? A naive new runner? Actually, it's Kosmic.
In a spreadsheet he posted on Twitter in early March 2021, the Marihour veteran listed some of his future speedrunning goals. Keen-eyed viewers' gazes were quickly drawn to the goal of a 53-59 in the Super Marihour challenge. While Kosmic isn't certain yet if this particular goal is a priority of his, he clearly believes that a 53 is within the realm of possibility. But is it? A 53 is a lofty goal, but it's more possible than you might think. In fact, I would posit that even a 52 is theoretically possible. This is thanks to the most untapped game in the challenge, Super Mario 64. An expert runner in just about every game in the Marihour challenge has at some point given the challenge a shot. Even my newfound SMB2U expertise is far from new, as Lackattack's SMB2U PB was once 11th on the game's leaderboard, and Ethan RTA's PB is 3rd to this day. However, there is one game that is still relatively unexplored. That is, of course, Super Mario 64. While polishing most of the Marihour Challenge's games is certainly a valid path to significant improvement, I believe that a true SM64 specialist could be the one to push the challenge to its limits. Movement around the castle has significant potential for optimization, as do quicker BLJs. Faster cycles can also be hit on the 3 Bowser stages. As the Marihour Challenge is pushed to its limits, these difficult time savers right at the end of the run are starting to become all that's left to improve. But the holy grail of Marihour optimization comes in the form of 0 star. I promise we'd be back on this one. This game-defining trick could cut a whole 40 seconds off of the run. Whether anyone out there is willing to subject themselves to 0 star SBLJ 50 minutes into the run remains to be seen. But until it is cemented as part of the world record route, the Super Marihour Challenge will still have one last hill left to climb. The Super Marihour Challenge has produced numerous incredible moments over the years, but I've saved one for last that represents the culmination of both my journey and the challenge's growth. During my grind for sub 56, SuperMegaDav and I, who had become friends through our shared passion for Marihour, submitted the challenge to Stack Up the Speed 2020, a charity marathon by the Global Speedrun Association. To my surprise, our run was accepted. I would be running the game on November 27th, with Dave doing the commentary. While practicing for the marathon, I theorized about what kind of time I could get under the pressure of running in front of thousands of viewers. I figured something like a 102 would be a pretty incredible showcase for the challenge, but I dreamed about the possibility of getting an even better time. While practicing my commentary for the marathon, I struggled to nail most of the big tricks, and I couldn't get a run below a 104. But I held out hope that during the event, I might be able to get a better time. When the day came, Dave and I took our spots, and I started up SMB1. Hello everybody, my name is Pixel Perfect Runs. I am a streamer and speedrunner here over on Twitch, and today I'm going to be showcasing the Super Marihour Challenge. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, let's go. Good luck. Just like that, touch the axe, we switch game.
Coming up is our friend Bruce. Yeah, say hi to Bruce. Hi Bruce. Bye Bruce. That was a perfect fight.
Yeah, man. Your 2U is so good. Congrats on that. We will have the coin. So we have to position Yoshi, and that's perfect. Well done, man. This is hard on Marathon, doing it on first try. That's awesome. So the cloud shares some memory addresses with the Bowser sequence. So by doing a specific set of inputs while you ride the cloud, it will break the sequence. Just like that, man. It saves a ton of time, and well done. Like, I had time to explain it, and you did it while I explained it.
Yeah, we're
perfect.
Done. There we go.
There you go. All right. I was starting to be skeptical about that, but it happened. First try. Awesome. GG. There you go. I think it's gonna hit. There you go. That's 3.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marihour.
Good.
It happened 59. Unbelievable.
So we just completed 6 individual Mario games in 59 minutes.
Boom. Timing.
17 seconds.
go with that.
Congratulations. Honestly, this is impressive.
I'm really happy about how that run went. Yeah, thank you to GSA, thank you to SuperMegaDav for helping me commentate. I could not have done it without you.
My pleasure.
Thank you again to GSA for letting us showcase the run, and best of luck to the other runners. The impossible had happened. Marihour in a marathon run. This run represented the revival of Marihour. From a category with only 3 runners who had long since moved on, to a run with an active community of talented runners and excited spectators. I'm proud of how far the challenge and its small but dedicated community has come, and you can be sure that this is just the beginning. I'm glad I got to share this little pocket of speedrunning with you all that has meant so much to me over the past 2 years. Even though Marihour has been through so much, I'm sure that it still has many more stories to tell. If you're interested in getting involved with the challenge, consider joining the official Marihour Discord, which you can find down in the description below, or by scanning this QR code. It would be amazing to have you along for Marihour's next chapter. And if you're inspired to give the challenge a shot, check out our guide to getting into the challenge, completing your first run, and improving your time. Who knows? Maybe you got what it takes to be the next Marihour champion. Until next time, I've been Pixel Perfect Runs. Thanks for watching.